All rise for the Honorable Judge.
The court is now in session. Please be seated. Call the case.
People versus Miguelito et al., criminal case number 4300 for the crime of murder.
Appearances for prosecution.
Good morning, Your Honor. I am Prosecutor Padilla, respectfully appearing for the state.
Appearances for defense.
Good morning, Your Honor. I am Attorney Cherry Vigo, respectfully appearing for the accused Miguelito, Matmat, Kyle, and Wilfredo.
Are the accused around?
Yes, Your Honor.
Arraign the accused.
People versus Miguelito et al., criminal case number 4300. Accused Miguelito, Matmat, Kyle, and Wilfredo committed the crime of murder, Article 248 of the Revised Penal Code, committed as follows. That on or about 7 in the morning on May 4299, in the company of deceased Roy, the accused penetrated into the interior of a limestone cavern of the type found in the central plateau of this Commonwealth.
Wait, guys! Wait! Let's take a breather, guys.
Guys, remember, the danger of adventure is worth 1,000 days of ease and comfort.
Guys, our comfort zone is our danger zone. Be careful of what you wish for.
You're so pessimistic. From the very first day, you keep on complaining. Just tell us that you're afraid or just you're holding back.
Cave? Yes, it's a cave. Finally! It's a cave!
What are you waiting for? Today is the journey. Tomorrow is history.
History of the central plateau of this Commonwealth.
This is such a deafening silence.
I told you! Be careful what you wish for! Now we have it!
Aren't we all going to make effort just to get out of this cave?
Nice. A radio? Guys! A radio! This must be used when this cave is functioning.
Nah, that looks old. I don't think that thing works.
Let me try it. I'm not kidding! It's functioning!
Yeah, we can use that.
Mayday! Mayday! We're the 5 explorer trapped in the cave! We need food! We need help! We need help over! Mayday! Mayday! We cannot last for a day! Mayday, over!
Give me that! Benny, we are here at Hello Benny. We need an
Give me that!
assistance.
Give me that! Mayday! Mayday! Help us, please! Over! Over! Help us!
Silence, silence. Someone is on the radio. Break, break. This is Cable 30.
We received your signal. What is your exact location? Over.
Yes.
Break. We received your signal. What is your exact location? Over. We are in a precarious situation right now. It will take us several days for us to save you because there is a massive landslide above the cave you are trapped in. But rest assured that we will do our best to reach you as soon as possible. Over.
How many days will it take to rescue us? Over.
It's about 30 days for us to get to you. Over. Is this for real? We will be dead by then. We have nothing to eat.
You treat us this way? We are taxpayers. We are entitled to the best equipment and rescue us as soon as possible.
We should not have done this stupid idea. This is unreal.
What if we eat one of us?
Come again. I don't quite understand you. Over.
We eat one of us is the closest to a food source we have right now.
Yes, God, man! This is not the time for silly notions. I am a good citizen with interpretations. Are you trying to turn me into a cannibal?
That's my husband, Roy!
No, miss. Let them talk to the government, please. Okay. Wait. I cannot advise for this. I will get back to you as soon as the government on the line. Please stand by. Over.
Break. This is honorable children. Rest assured that government will expend all possible resources to save the 5 of you, okay? Just deal with us. Please stay here. Your families have been informed of your predicament. We are receiving aid financially and technologically. Okay, just please, bear with us. Over.
Look, Honorable Samas, what is the good of your rescue if the rescuers will come after 30 days? We will be dead by that time. If the rescue won't come to the soonest, we'd forced to eat one of us.
You know that cannibalism is a crime. Eating one of you is not an option. We are here for you. We will rescue you. As what I have said, we will expend all possible resources to save the 5 of you. The government will not fail you. We will send help as soon as we can. Over, please.
Break. This is Reverend Father Christopher. Trust in the commitment of the government to do everything within its means to rescue you. But you need to call upon God. All human remedies in situations like this fails without God's intervention. Pray. He will hear you as you are His children. Remember, He is kind and merciful.
Father, will God forgive us if we eat one of us so that 4 others can live?
Break, this is Dr. Lovely. Do you copy? I agree that your rescue is a matter of extreme urgency. The human body can only survive 3 days without water and a week without food. Considering the time you have stayed trapped, your chances of survival diminish each day. Over.
Dr. Lovely, would you agree that eating one of us will increase our chance of survival?
It is important that food and water will be sent to you immediately before 3 days have passed. Over.
In a while, your radio will die soon. But we will get to you as soon as possible. Over.
Hello? Rescuers still there?
Let me see. Hello? Oh no. Our radio is dead.
How about my family?
What will we do now?
We're all gonna die. We've
No!
lost all our communications in the outside world.
Oh no! No radio! What will we do now?
Maybe we should try to push this rock. Maybe we can get out.
It's worth a try. But the chances of anyone spotting us are slim.
We're all gonna die here. I shouldn't have come along with you guys.
You coward! Stop that nonsense right now! Nobody wished for this! Nobody!
Oh yeah? If you're so brave, then volunteer to be eaten.
What are you saying? It's been more than a week. My friends, we are starving with no rescue in sight. I propose we consider Roy's suggestion to throw the dice and determine who sacrifices their life for the others.
That's an ethically challenging proposition. We need to weigh the consequences carefully.
Hey, look. We are not just explorers here. We are also friends. And remember that. We cannot just eat each other. We should find an alternative.
The biggest question now, is it morally justifiable to sacrifice one's life just to save others? Even granting without admitting that it is morally justifiable. Aren't we animals by then?
But do you have any other suggestions? Our food supplies are depleted. Are you saying that we just die here?
I am sorry, but I cannot proceed with my proposal earlier to kill and eat one of us. I admit I made the proposal out of exasperation upon hearing the rescuer's arrival. Eating another human being is against my moral. I want to withdraw from that agreement now.
What? You're the one who first came out with this idea, Roy. It was your idea.
I'm sorry, but I really can't. I really can't.
We really have to push through Roy's suggestion. I cannot last another day without a food.
I can now hear the angels calling me now. I can see the light. I can see the light.
Oh light, take us, for we cannot bear this suffering anymore.
Tell my mama I love her. Please, tell my wife and my daughter Papa love them. I cannot say them anymore. Please, tell them Papa love them.
We have left with no option. If we want, four of us would leave. We should make a difficult decision. I have a dice here. The one who should be picked would be killed. I am number 1. You're number 2. Miguelito's number 3. Wilfredo is number 4. And Roy is number 5. And when 6 come out, we should not push through with this plan. Any objections?
Roy, any objections?
No! I said, I don't want to do this! Whether you like it or not, we will proceed!
Please tell me it's not me. Please.
It's you, Roy! It's you!
In a decision dated April 28, 4301, the Court of First Instance of New Garth found the accused appellants guilty beyond reasonable doubt of the crime of murder, as the victim was subjected to a horrible death of being eaten by the accused appellants. The Court of First Instance of Newgarth did not consider the defense of consensuality of contracts in light of a prior agreement to which the victim was also a party, that it was the victim who suggested the morbid solution to their predicament by suggesting that they eat one of them to let the other survive. The dispositive portion of the decision of the Court of First Instance of Newgarth reads, "Wherefore, premises considered, the court finds accused Miguelito, Matmat, Kyle, and Wilfredo guilty beyond reasonable doubt of the crime of murder and hereby imposes on them the penalty of death, no costs." Upon promulgation of this judgment, the warden of the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, or BJMP, of Newgarth County Jail is hereby ordered to commit the accused to the national prisons for the service of their sentence. So ordered.
Fellow justices, your honors, the lower court has convicted these people for whom the government had spent time, money, wisdom, and effort to rescue them from death. The basis is our basic law that says, "Whosoever shall willfully take the life of another shall be punished by death." Let us not be blind to the fact that the purpose of this law is to save life, not waste it. By applying it against the appellant spelunkers, we are like pushing them back to the cave from which we helplessly wanted to pull them out the soon as they were discovered trapped and doomed to die of hunger. We need not remind one another that the killing was done in good faith because it sprang from the proposal of the victim himself. We need not emphasize the fact that the appellants had no choice and they were just compelled by their moral duty to preserve their own lives. We need not underline the fact that, like self-defense in murder, killing to preserve one's life is an act of self-defense. We only need to see the immoral implication of conviction. By applying the law because one was killed, we end up wasting the life of not just 4 appellants, but also the 10 rescuers who died in the process of saving the 4 from that cave of death. Convicting them would be stripping the law of morality. As a maxim goes, "Cessante ratione legis, cessat et ipsa lex." When the reason for the law ceases to exist, the law itself ceases. This essentially means that we have the law for a reason, and once the reason disappears, the law disappears as well. Ladies and gentlemen, killing Roy for food is excusable under the circumstances. In the first place, the killing sprang from the victim's own proposal. It was he who suggested that they should eat one of them in order to survive. It matters little that he withdrew at the last minute. The idea that he had inspired is like raindrops that do not return to the sky until they water the earth. His withdrawal did not make this choice unavailable to the group, more so because this was the only choice left in order to survive. Moreover, nobody singled out anybody to be butchered. It was by the throwing of the dice that the sacrificial lamb was determined. The law of destiny was operative, not the law of our land. The appellants must be acquitted.
Have you spoken to them? Are they going through their plan?
I have offered prayers for the Holy Spirit to guide them in these perilous times of their lives.
Oh, will that help them though? I mean, our equipment can hardly breach the mud and rocks blocking the entrance. There's a way perhaps that they need more hands-on help rather than abstract assurance.
There is nothing more powerful than prayers. It is during this time that their faith is tested.
Any input, Doc?
They will die soon if we cannot get them out. In my opinion, that we will not give them false hope anymore. Tell them the truth of our progress, if what we have done can be considered as such.
Oh, no way. That will bring shame to the government.
We already sacrificed 10 lives of brave rescuers. We must get all of them alive.
Then we must pray before anything worse happens. From what I can assume from our conversations with them, they are desperate, and desperate men may do the unthinkable.
Honorable Justices, I understand the moral and emotional complexities of the case before us, but I do not subscribe to the tenet that we should be swayed from our sworn duty to apply the law just because in our judgment, the purpose of the law has ceased. This opens the floodgates of subjectivism and even of corruption. We are not appointed judges to determine the purpose of the law. This belongs to the lawmakers. As justices, our duty is to uphold the law as it is written. The statute governing murder is clear that taking the life of another human being intentionally is a crime, and it provides no exceptions for extreme circumstances such as the dire situation the explorers found themselves in. The law is a product of our democratic society, crafted by the legislature and signed into law by those elected to represent the will of the people. As justices, it is not our duty to inject morality into the law where there is none. Some laws may be imbued with morality, but other laws need not have the moral connection. Otherwise, we should all abolish the death penalty because killing is immoral. Society will then have problems disposing of hardened and incorrigible criminals. Otherwise, we should do away with the shoot-to-kill orders because life is highest in the moral order. Policemen will then do nothing else but chase criminals all their lives. People will then live in fear because criminals are on the loose. There is no compelling connection between the law and morality. It is not our role to rewrite the law or make exceptions based on sympathy or personal beliefs. Our role is to interpret and apply the law faithfully. The explorer's act of taking a human life, regardless of the circumstances, meets the legal definition of murder. Like I said, to allow exceptions in cases of necessity, even extreme necessity, is to open the floodgates to subjective interpretations. This will undermine the very foundation of our legal system. As justices, we only need the facts, then apply the law as it is. Otherwise, we will be tampering with the law. Until the law is changed by the legislature, we are bound by the provisions of the statutes. This is what it means to be governed by the rule of law. The law is clear. Killing is a crime. The explorer's conviction must be upheld, for the law does not permit us to do otherwise. This is a harsh decision, but it is backed up by the law. The law may be harsh, but it is the law. Dura lex, sed lex. In conclusion, our prime duty is to apply the law, not create it. I concur with the lower court's decision to uphold the conviction of the explorers for the crime of murder. My decision may appear harsh, and that is because the law itself is harsh. Dura lex, sed lex. The law may be harsh, but it is the law. By veering away from what the law says in my decisions, it is as if I put myself above the law or outside of it. It is a mockery of my allegiance to uphold the laws of the land. The human in me, however, points to a compassionate and benevolent escape from death. Unlike the judges, the chief executive is not bound by the law and has complete power to pardon. I suggest that the chief executive be instructed to exercise clemency given the circumstances of the case to mitigate the rigors of the law.
Fellow justices, your honors, good day. Indeed, this case is extraordinary. And in view of the circumstance that led to the commitment of the crime, let us not make this case an exception to the very rules and laws that govern our land. The law is clear. He who commits murder must be punished. My fellow justices, let us not make this a matter of deliberation nor an opportunity to construe the provisions, for it is clear. The law is very clear. The only thing that this honorable court must do is to apply the facts to the case in a logical, syllogistic, and deliberative way. Our judicial system has stood the test of time as a rational, gapless, and complete legal science. As a closed logical system, it enjoys immunity from the capricious application and interpretation of judges. It is the bedrock of impartiality, generating justice for all. This is precisely why Lady Justice is blind. We justices need not look anywhere else because our legal system is complete. We only need to apply the law. Like a giant syllogism machine, our judicial system is an instrument of deductive application of the law to the facts of the case. Even to the point of being mechanical, this is the only way the law achieves regularity and impartiality. This is the only way we maintain the rule of law. In the case before us, the law is clear. As the major premise of a syllogism, murder is committed with the following elements established. First, that a person was killed. Second, that the accused killed him without any justifying circumstance. Third, that the accused had an intention to kill, which is presumed. And lastly, that the killing was not attended by any of the qualifying circumstances of murder, nor is it parricide or infanticide. The facts too are clear as the minor premise of a syllogism. Roy was killed by his peers over Roy's objection. Having established the law as our major premise, and having determined the undisputed facts as our minor premise, the conclusion is inevitable. The four explorers are guilty of the crime of murder.
I have heard the arguments of Honorable Justice Opus and Honorable Justice Alcomendras, two respected colleagues who have distinguished themselves as vanguards in the administration of justice. I do not, however, subscribe to their theory that the law should be applied mechanistically to the point that judges have no choice but to apply the law regardless of the social implications. This is tantamount to undo the deification of the law. We make gods out of the law. If we subscribe to this formalist theory of adjudication, we make the law superior to the well-being of the society. This is dangerous. This is alarming. We have seen a system where the law is used as a tool to advance the interest of the rich, and where the law is justified to the slavery of the proletariat in order to feed the insatiable hunger of the bourgeoisie for unlimited wealth and power. We have seen the history how the law was used as a tool of the ruling class to maintain their power over the working class. With history telling us that the laws can be used as a tool for the powerful class and for the rich, how can we defy the law? We cannot subscribe to the theory that the law should be applied mechanically, leaving the judges with no choice but to punish the accused if that's the law says. So regardless of the compelling considerations that warrant the dismissal of the case, premises considered, we must not be shackled by what the law says, even if other compelling considerations warrant a different judgment. Having considered these factors, such as lack of choice of the appellants, their bounden duty to preserve their lives, and the fact it was the victim himself who proposed the idea that the lots should be drawn to determine who among them will be killed and utilized as food for their survival, I vote for the acquittal of the appellants.
I vote for the acquittal of the appellant explorers. I don't believe that our laws should be applied in a mechanical and syllogistic way. As justices, yes, we can intelligently write moving decisions upon the law of the case. But impartiality is preserved not by the cold letters of the law, but by the cry of justice underneath the undisputed facts. And the facts are crystal clear. We are dealing with life here. The life of our four persons who were killed not because they were motivated by criminal instinct. They just wanted to preserve their lives, and they had no other choice but to eat human flesh.
So many lives have been lost already in relation to this case. Are we going to lose more lives because the law has to be applied in a mechanistic way? Are we going to uphold the death verdict, even though there are numerous factors that support the appellant's acquittal? If we are to apply the law mechanistically, then let us do away with judges and replace them with judgment machines.
Breaking news.
I'm here outside the Supreme Court where emotions are running high as people await the decision of the court. Let us hear the voice of the people. I have here with me Emmy, the wife of one of the deceased rescuers. Can you share your thoughts about the case of the convicted Speluncean explorers?
Acquitted. I think they should be acquitted by the Supreme Court. After all, they were only trying their best to survive. It would be tragic if they were be sentenced to death. It would be a mockery of our justice system of killed 4 people after they were dramatically rescued that killed 10 rescuers. I am deeply disappointed in the government and in everyone involved. My husband died trying to save those precious lives in the sake of his duty. This is where my husband's efforts end up. He died saving them from the trap in the cave, only to sentence to death in the name of justice. Shame on your justice.
Acquit them. To be honest, I would have done the same in order to stay alive in that cave. Judges are there to deliberate on the case. If all judges do is apply what the law says, without due consideration of the circumstances of facts, then let's get rid of judges. Let's just have robots instead. Right, Chuck?
Yeah, I actually agree with that. The salaries of the judges come from the taxes people pay, and they must protect the interest of the people at all costs. It is injustice if they will only apply what the law is without considering the peculiarity and uniqueness of this case. They must acquit the explorers.
And we are back to New Garth Radio. You are still with me, DJ Ale, and right now I have here 2 special guests. I have here VJ and Renee to ask them about their opinions on the ongoing controversies about the Speluncean explorers. VJ, what is your opinion about this?
Thank you, DJ. For me, they should be pardoned because their situation is unlike any other. After all, they are still human beings. And I believe that the law exists to protect and ensure the welfare of the people. If the law does not do this, will they ever feel safe? No. So if we only take the law in its very essence, no, why are there discretions? Why are there exceptions? So for me, the judges having these discretions must be used in this particular case.
I agree with you, but didn't they commit a crime? So I think there's this saying, dura lex sed lex, where the law is harsh, but it is the law. So aren't they supposed to be punished?
Thank you so much, Renee and VJ, for that wonderful insights that you have shared with our listeners today. I really believe that all of us have our own opinions, and so are our listeners. So what about you guys? What is your opinion about this current controversy? Only here, let us know in New Garth Radio.
An overwhelming 90% of the people voted to have this court reverse the decision of the lower court and acquit the appellant explorers. This process should, in my humble opinion, be indicative of the human realities of our good society. As such, we honorable justices should not be constrained by the abstract theories behind what makes our law. Rather, we should lend our ears to the public that has spoken, as the very existence of the law that we interpret is derived from prevailing social interests and public policy. Therefore, the defendants should be acquitted of the crime charged, and the conviction and sentence of the lower court should be set aside.
The issue we are facing is the application of the law. In applying the law, are we going to follow the literal meaning of the statutes? Or are we allowing our moral compass to guide us in maneuvering through the waves of uncertainty? The case of the explorers is definitely not an ordinary case. It puts all of us justices between the devil and the deep blue sea. If we go literal in the application of the law, we end up killing more lives. If we allow our moral compass to guide us in calibrating the application of the law, we undermine the separation of powers because we would be usurping the rule of lawmakers. Both ways, we cause damage. Is there a middle way then? But why bother to go neutral in the first place? We must acknowledge that our legal system is not a neutral and objective apparatus, but rather a product of historical, social, and political forces. The law is not some abstract, pure entity disconnected from the complexities of the real world. It is deeply embedded in power structures, social hierarchies, and cultural norms. We must remember that the explorers were faced with a life and death situation. The law, as it stands, may be insufficient to address such extreme circumstances. Our role as judges is not merely to regurgitate the words of the law, but to engage in a critical examination of the principles and values that should guide our legal system. This case exposes the inadequacies of a rigid positivist approach that advocates the heartless application of the law. Can you sleep peacefully after the appellants are put to death because of our decision? I could not. There is a proposal that we order the chief executive to pardon the appellants after we have convicted them. How sure are we that the chief executive will take orders from us? What if the chief executive will not act because the doctrine of separation of powers simply won't allow the judiciary to tell the executive what to do? Self-defense is being raised by a distinguished colleague whom I respect. But how can self-defense be used as a basis to acquit them? There was no sudden impulse. The killing was a product of careful deliberation. In light of this, I would like to recuse myself from the matter. Meanwhile, I would like to propose that we reevaluate our legal system, our laws, and our interpretations to better align with the principles of justice and humanity. It is time for our legal system to evolve, to be responsive to the moral and ethical dilemmas it may face in the future. In conclusion, I urge my fellow justices to consider the broader implications of our decision and to recognize that this case is not just about the explorers, but about the very nature of our legal system. Your Honor, I am moving to start the votation.
Any objections? Anyone? None. Motion granted. Those in favor of acquitting the defendants, please raise your right hand. Those in favor of convicting the defendant, please raise your right hand. Justice Samuel, I see that you did not vote.
I recuse myself from the matter, Your Honor, as I believe that there is no way to distinguish the principles according to which the case can be decided in a free and rational manner.
Defendants, please rise as I call your name. Miguelito, Matmat, Kyle, Wilfredo. 3 justices voted for the acquittal of the defendants and 3 justices voted for the conviction. With 1 justice recusing herself, we now have a tie. Under a jurisdiction
Itay reinstates the decision of the lower court. The decision of conviction of the lower court is hereby upheld with modification. The convicted persons are hereby recommended for clemency by the President. So ordered.